My name is Allie. I moved back to the Greenville area in summer of 2015. Before that, I had been living overseas, doing overseas mission work. And when I arrived to Greenville, I was in a place where I had a lot of raw issues that God was getting ready to deal with in my heart, even though in the middle of it, I had no idea what was going on. There had just been some recent situations in my life where they brought up issues that I had been dealing with dating all the way back to childhood, and I just had a tendency to put up walls and to not trust anybody. And I had a tendency to project that mistrust onto God as well, because if people could hurt me, then God could hurt me too. That I had to do everything in my power to protect myself. So my tendency was to put on an air of perfection. I held a perfectionist mindset, and I had to be I had to hold myself to that standard so that it was perfect with me and there was no need for anybody to get to know me any deeper. So my struggle with letting people in was, if they got past my walls, they would see my imperfection, they would see my flaws, they would see the part of me that nobody was supposed to see. And people in the past had a tendency to turn away when they saw those imperfections, when they saw that I was less than what I appeared to be. And after it happening over and over again, I decided that it was better if people only saw one side of me, and I kept those insecurities and those struggles hidden away. And so letting people in wasn't something that I allowed myself to do. When I arrived at Freedom Church, I was in a place where I could no longer hide my brokenness, where I could no longer hide the issues that I was dealing with, the hurts and the struggles. They couldn't be ignored anymore. They couldn't be pushed down and covered up anymore. And so when I got to Freedom Church, I had to learn how to be loved in my imperfection. I had to learn that my brokenness and my messiness doesn't necessarily define who I am. It doesn't define my value. My brokenness is a part of me too, and it can be loved, and it can be healed, and it can be accepted. I think part of where my battle was in realizing that change isn't something that happens overnight, and that just because I was able to make progress in this area, because I was able to trust, because I was able to grow in this area, doesn't mean that it's fixed and that it's all the way whole yet. And sometimes God will take me back to that place again, and I'll have that situation reopened, and I'll have to learn something new. And it doesn't mean that I didn't grow in that area, that I wasn't making progress in that area. He just has something new to show to me, something more that I need to grow in, some other truth that I need to grasp. Ultimately, it comes down to your struggles and your brokenness and your mess do not define you, and they're not who you are, they're where you're at. And God wants to take you from that place, and He wants to reveal to you your identity and your future and your hope beyond that brokenness. And it's not easy, and it's not pretty. And some days you go forward, and some days you take a step back, but you just have to be willing to stick it out and to trust that your current situation is not the future that He has for you. It's just one step in that journey. And He has further to take you, and He has more to impart to you, and more truth and more of His love and His character to unveil to you.